Hi, this is Barry here, and you're very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today I thought we'd take a look at 5 reasons why you'll never make it as an author. Now, why anyone would want to be an author in the first place is mind-boggling when you think about it. You know, when you consider that, there's not many people in the general public will lock themselves away for hours at a time, dismiss the TV, whatever's going on outside and the weather or whatever it is, and they lock themselves away for, days, weeks, and months at a time working on, a book. There's not many people who will, finish a piece of work and have as little confidence in themselves when they finished it as when they started. There's not many people who, have the neck to walk up to somebody in the general public and say, you know what, I'm after creating this fantastic fictional world, and not only do I want you to read through it, I want you to pay me for, for actually admission fee to get into it. When you consider that what authors do, it's understandable why not many people actually sit down to a keyboard and actually start typing. But if you're one of those people who likes inflicting pain on yourself, maybe there's some quirk that authors need, they need some, kind of jabbing away at their self-confidence or whatever it is, or your self-esteem, because that's what you will go through. If you can get by all that, I think if you follow on these 5 reasons and you can get over these 2, I think you'll do really, really well. So the first reason why you're going to fail is you'll be too attached to your work. Now, speaking as somebody who's wrote in a couple of genres, when you're spending a couple of days, weeks, and months, whatever, characters, in some cases you get to know them as well as your own family. You've probably written scenes where you've cheered when they've won a battle scene, or, they've cried when something sad happened to them. You've been elated when, maybe they've met the man of their dreams or whatever it is. And, in some cases, like, you're going to be so attached to those characters, it's going to seem like, family members. The whole backstory, every little thing that happened to them, their family lines and, all the quirks and whatever it is. And, for you to take that character and then just to turn it in the public and then have people slate it and slag it off, and, if you can't, turn your little creation over to the world and, dismiss all the criticism they can get, and, if you can do that, you're a step further along the line. Because if you can't get through that, when you've seen that character you've spent so much time with, and people are slating it in bad reviews, and you want to stand up for them in some cases, like somebody like the bully in the playground who's picking on your best friend. You want to put yourself in between you and the bully, and you want to stand up for that character. And unfortunately, you're going to have to let that character go. They're going to have to find their feet on their own, and if you can't get over that bit, you'll never make it. So the second reason you'll never make it as an author is you'll be a one-book wonder. Now, for some people, maybe they only have one book in them. Maybe once they've put themselves through writing a book, they'll probably say to themselves, well, never again. But for some people, they have this notion that they're going to write the next Harry Potter, and think that they're going to rely on this one book that's going to, be made into a film, that's going to create a theme park and whatever it is going to do. And some people are expecting that. And then maybe when they've released that book and it just maybe gets lost in the Amazon algorithm and it's never found, it can be very, very disappointing for them. But if you go into being a writer, assuming that nobody knows you, nobody cares about you, and you're just going to have to keep plugging away, build a catalogue, build a collection, and the more books you have out there, the more chances people are going to find you, the more you're going to stick with it. But if you think you're going to be one book wonder, unfortunately, I'm telling you now, don't bother, because it isn't going to happen. Again, another reason now you're going to fail is you'll be afraid of seeking criticism. Now, although I spoke about it earlier with the characters and, how you're going to try and stand up for them, there's not many people who will, stick their chin out and beg somebody to punch them in the face, because, that's what you do when you put your book out there. You have to, you're probably saying to yourself, give me a book review. But it's not like you're thinking to yourself, you're probably saying, I'd like a book review, but you're probably saying, please give me a good book review, please give me a good book review, and whatever it is, you've got this kind of story going in your head playing, please say you like it, please say you like it, like this puppy that's looking for attention. But, and because of that, then, you're going to be too attached to it, and you'll be afraid of seeking criticism, you'll be afraid to, get asking for book reviews and all those different things. But unfortunately, you're going to have to put yourself through that. You're going to have to, grow a thick hide. Sometimes, in some cases, maybe some authors were scuppered by a bad book review. It just was maybe the 10 good reviews I had, but it was that one, book review was like the thorn in their mind, and it was just constantly at them, saying they had no talent, they had no this, and they had none that, and they gave up, and they never ever got anywhere further. So, you need to have a strong, a thick hide. You need to dismiss all the criticism, take on the constructive criticism. But you're going to get some people who are just they're going to rain your parade no matter what you do. So, if you're afraid of seeking criticism, I tell you, you're not going to make it long term. Another reason you're never going to make it as an author is you're going to try to do it all alone. You're going to try and do everything on your own. I know I was like that too. You know, I was the cook, the chef, the bottle washer. I done everything in, you know, when I was writing my books. You know, I wrote the books, I edited them, I done the book covers, I did the book descriptions, I done the book promotions. And for a lot of authors, when you haven't got much cash, it is easy to, you know, get into this role where you're doing all those different things. And, you know, when you're doing it for a while, sometimes it's hard to let go. Sometimes it's hard to say, well, you know, maybe I should hire somebody to do a better book cover because they have more talent than me. And in some cases, your career will probably skyrocket if you did hand over more things. Hire people who are good at their job. You know, you might be the best writer in the world, but, you know, have you really got an eye for creating good book covers? You know, have you got a good copywriting skills to write a good book description? Do you really know all the best websites to do book promotions on? If you don't, you'll be as well, you know, give money to people who can do that for you. Again, in the beginning, when you haven't got much cash, you know, start off with the book covers. Get a good book cover done. When you have a little bit more cash, maybe work on your book descriptions. You know, when you have a little more cash, go to, you know, the book promotions. Then hire somebody on Fiverr.com. Like, there's a good book promotion gig on Fiverr.com, and it's done by B Knights. That's BKNIGHTS. If you search for that gig, that seller on Fiverr.com, you'll find they do a book promotion, and I use them many times for my book promotions, and it's very reasonable. Now, you know, when you're strapped for cash, Fiverr.com is a great place even to get your book covers done. So some people say go 99 designs, but, you know, if you haven't got the money, you haven't got the money. But each time, you know, try and get somebody else to take on a little bit more. Get somebody else to edit your book, to fix up your grammar and whatever it is. So each time then you have a better, you know, the finished product is going to be better and your sales are going to improve because of it. So don't try and do everything your own, because you're not that talented, unfortunately, and neither am I. So reason number 5, you're not a business owner. So, you know, a lot of authors will maybe spend maybe $300 or whatever it is in a BookBub ad, and maybe they'll only get $50 of a return. And, you know, if that was a brick and mortars business, you know, how long would that business last? You know, have a look at the money you're putting out daily, you know, how you're spending your time. You know, if you're writing business was, you know, a brick and mortars business, if it was a store, you know, if you were a store owner and you spent $300 on advertisement and all the magazines and radio and all that, and you only collected $50 at the till, you know, how long could that business last? You know, it wouldn't last very, very long. So, you know, sometimes we can get swept away and we can put on our author's cap and we can kind of just, you know, we go off on the writing scheme, but we don't actually come back and look at it with kind of fresh eyes and, you know, in a hard light of truth. You know, is that book series you're writing, is it really worth your while? Is it you know, is it going to be a good investment in the future, or is it just kind of one of these vanity projects that you're doing, you know, that nobody's ever going to read? You know, unfortunately, if you're going to make it as an author, and you're going to make it as an author who can, you know, write from home and write from whatever you want, you're going to have to look at it as a business. You know, you're going to have to look at how the money's going in, the money's going out, how you're spending your time. You know, if you were a business owner and you were the boss, you know, and your staff was spending half the day flicking around on social media and, you know, wasting time like that, you know, you'd sack that person. So then, like, you know, you're probably your own boss then too. So, you know, step back from yourself. How are you spending your day? Are you one of those people who, you know, are putting down the hashtag writing when you're actually on social media and you're not writing, you know? So have a look at your writing business today as a business owner, you know, and see what mistakes you're making and how you could be fixing it up and, you know, making it a lot better. Now, there's probably more reasons than the 5 I've given here, but I think if you get through these 5 main ones, I think you'll do a lot better, and, you know, you'll be more successful in the long run if you do it. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode. I really enjoyed putting it together, and you know, if you did like it, please share it with a friend, and also, you know, I'd really appreciate a review on iTunes. If you could do that for me, that would be fantastic. So again, my name's been Barry J. McDonald. This has been today's podcast from WriteCome.com. So take care, and again, have a great day. Bye bye.